Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. We kick off today with a story from OpenAI that bucks the trend that we have been seeing recently of executives leaving with an executive coming back. Greg Brockman, it turns out, was just on sabbatical. He was not pre-leaving the company. And as of yesterday, he tweeted, "Longest vacation of my life complete, back to building at OpenAI." According to reports, Brockman told staff that he had been working with Sam Altman to create a new role for him, focused on addressing significant technical challenges at the company. One of the points of discussion during Brockman's time away was how he did or didn't fit within the changing OpenAI executive landscape. Brockman is a much more hands-on builder than he is a manager, and it wasn't clear exactly how that was fitting in. The Information and others had reported that there were some tensions with his leadership style, and so Bloomberg's report that Brockman had been working with Altman to create a new role makes sense based on that. Now, of course, in spite of all that, Brockman does return to a dramatically transformed company. Half a dozen senior staffers have left during his leave, including CTO Mira Murati and co-founder John Schulman. Newly appointed CFO Sarah Fryer is refocusing the company on commercial applications of AI. And of course, the company is looking to ship a new generation of models, which have been marred with questions about a slowdown of progress. Brockman is now one of 3 out of 11 co-founders remaining at the company, and by and large, people are pretty excited. AI for Success on Twitter writes, "Greg Brockman is back. AGI just got a day closer." Speaking of Mira Murati, we also got some reports around what she's doing now. The Information writes ex-OpenAI CTO Murati's new team takes shape. Almost immediately upon leaving the company, Mira Murati had reportedly begun to pitch other OpenAI employees about joining what she was building. It appears that some have taken her up on that offer, including Miana Chen, a research program manager at OpenAI who worked on preparing AI models for release, ex-head of post-training Barrett Zoff, and former senior researcher Luke Metz. The Information writes, Chen's loss is particularly significant given that she led the launches of a number of OpenAI's models and products, including GPT-4o, O1 reasoning models, and advanced voice mode. Still, at the same time, we just don't know what Murati's actually working on. Whatever it is, you can bet that there will be big venture checks waiting should they decide to go that route. News from another one of the big players, Amazon has announced a massive grants program to lure AI researchers to their hardware. Called Build on Trainium, the program will award $110 million in credits and grants. Partner universities can access $11 million in credits each, while individual grants of up to $500,000 will be available to the broader AI research community. AWS also said that they are establishing a research cluster of 40,000 Trainium chips that will be available for research teams and students. Gadi Hutt, senior director at Annapurna Labs, the AWS chipmaking division, said, "AI academic research today is severely bottlenecked by a lack of resources, and as such, the academic sector is falling quickly behind." With Build on Trainium, AWS is investing in a new wave of AI research guided by leading AI research in universities that will advance the state of generative AI applications, libraries, and optimizations. The problem is fairly stark when you consider the numbers. Meta's training cluster used for their frontier models houses 100,000 GPUs, whereas Stanford's Natural Language Processing Group has 68 GPUs for all of its work. Still, not everyone is happy to see the expansion of resources driven by a large corporation. Os Keys, a PhD candidate at the University of Washington who studies the ethical impact of emerging technologies, told TechCrunch, "This feels like an effort on generalizing a corruption of academic research funding." Then again, this is really just part of the process. By 2020, 70% of AI PhDs already ended up working in private industry, in part due to the necessary access to compute. The number of papers with industry co-authors has nearly doubled since 2000, and while the government is taking steps to address the issue, like the National Science Foundation's $140 million investment to launch 7 university-led national AI research institutes, it still seems like this sort of collaboration is just going to be the way that things work going forward. Lastly today, another big fundraise for an AI unicorn. Ryder has raised $200 million at a $1.9 billion valuation. Ryder is firmly in the enterprise realm, with CEO May Habib saying, "At Ryder, we're not just creating LLMs that can execute tasks, but developing advanced AI systems that deliver mission-critical enterprise work. With this new funding, we're laser-focused on developing the next generation of autonomous AI solutions that are secure, reliable, and adaptable in highly complex real-world enterprise scenarios." With that, we wrap today's AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.